Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we aren't just staring at a screen. We are literally stepping into a high-stakes simulation. I want you, right here, right now, to step into the shoes of a future leader. We're tackling crisis management, problem-solving, and decision-making. You're about to face scenarios where the pressure is totally on, the clock is ticking, and people are relying entirely on you. So let's get into it.
Picture this. You're the mayor of a bustling coastal city. The sirens are blaring in the background. Your meteorologist just confirmed that a massive Category 5 hurricane is bearing down on your coastline, and it is going to make landfall in less than 24 hours. What is your absolute first move? Do you sound the evacuation alarm right now, which could potentially cause a massive highway gridlock? Do you order emergency shelters to open, or do you mobilize your first responders? The weight of the entire city is on your shoulders, and time is running out. That right there, that's the immediate, crushing pressure of crisis leadership.
So let's dive into this. Here's our mission roadmap for today's training. We'll start with when disaster strikes, move into the simulation training ground, test your skills with real-world crisis scenarios, build your crisis leadership toolkit, and finally, anchor it all with morality and decision-making. Okay, Section 1. When disaster strikes and the absolute need for courage.
Look, true leadership isn't just about sitting in some comfy office when the sun is shining, right? It's really defined by how you react when absolutely everything goes wrong. And where do you find your footing in that chaos? 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13 tells us, "Be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong." Raw intelligence just isn't enough out in the real world. Courage and spiritual firmness, those are your ultimate foundations. You've got to be mentally prepared before the storm even forms.
Moving on to Section 2, the simulation training ground. This is all about preparing for the unknown.
So how do you actually get that courage? Well, by training your mind. You can't wait until the house is literally on fire to try and figure out how to use a fire extinguisher. And that's exactly what a crisis simulation is for, practicing your decision-making in realistic, highly pressurized scenarios. I mean, think about it. Why do astronauts train in giant pools of water? Why do we do fire drills at school? Practicing for disasters builds the vital mental muscle you need so that when it happens for real, you aren't completely paralyzed. You're ready to act.
And in this curriculum, you are going to build those exact critical muscles. You're going to learn how to prioritize your actions in a crisis, how to balance rapid speed with really careful thought, and how to work effectively as a team under immense pressure. Mastering these three skills is basically mastering the art of keeping people safe. It's a total game changer.
Now, this is probably the single hardest part of leadership, balancing the speed of your actions against careful thought. It is a massive tightrope walk. You have to act fast because time is ticking, but those fast decisions absolutely cannot just be random guesses. They must be based on solid evidence. If you move too fast, you might make a fatal mistake, but if you think for too long, the disaster just overtakes you. All right, Section 3, real-world crisis scenarios. Theory time is over. It's your turn to lead.
Let's run through 3 rapid-fire, insanely high-stakes events. First up, a natural disaster. You're the mayor. Do you evacuate, set up shelters, or deploy your emergency services? Every single option has heavy risks. Second, an economic collapse. You're the financial leader. Do you freeze the banks, pass emergency laws, or just let the market try to stabilize itself? People's life savings depend on you. Third, an international conflict. You are the President of the United States. Do you choose diplomacy, launch military action, or impose strict economic sanctions?
I want you to really, genuinely think about this for a second. Give me one example of a crisis decision from those scenarios. Pick one in your head right now. Mentally commit to it. Are you the mayor, the financial leader, or the president? Okay, got it? Now, how will you weigh the massive risks of your options? What specific evidence are you going to look for to make sure your lightning-fast decision is actually the right one?
Let's take a breath and hit Section 4, the Crisis Leadership Toolkit, where we build out your strategy. We need to step back from the edge and distill our strategy to basically take the panic out of the equation. Any successful crisis response relies on a very specific toolkit. Number 1, clear priorities are absolutely required. You just can't fix everything all at once. Number 2, fast decisions must still be fiercely evidence-based. And number 3, teamwork strengthens the response. These are the 3 core pillars that will literally hold up any leader when the ground underneath them is shaking. Which brilliantly brings us to another huge question for you. Why is teamwork so important in a crisis? Think back to the scenarios we just covered. Could a mayor handle a Category 5 hurricane completely alone? No way. No single leader, no matter how brilliant or capable they are, has all the answers or the physical ability to be everywhere at once. A true leader needs advisors, first responders, and a whole community working together. Consider this. Can you describe a lesson learned from a real historical crisis? Think about the 1918 influenza pandemic, for instance. Cities that communicated transparently and formed strong community alliances far outpaced the cities where leaders tried to just handle it all alone in secret. How did the leaders of the past use or totally fail to use the toolkit we just discussed? You've got to let their history inform your simulation choices today.
Finally, we reach Section 5, Morality in Decision-Making, the Ultimate Anchor.
So we've talked a lot about being fast, being smart, and being organized. But honestly, none of that matters if your internal compass is completely broken. The HeroesMart Academy Godly Learner series intertwines biblical morality with education for a very, very specific reason. Education without morality will hurt. What is the point of being a total master at crisis simulations if, as a leader, you make a fast, efficient decision that is fundamentally unfair or even cruel? Your sharp intelligence has to be guided by a strong moral anchor.
And you know what? Having that moral anchor actually makes you a vastly better leader in a crisis. Romans chapter 8, verses 6 through 7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. When you pair that high-level, intense crisis decision-making with the deep peace of a morally grounded mind, you don't panic. You operate with absolute clarity, deep purpose, and real compassion.
So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought as you gear up for your simulations. Will you be a leader armed with both sharp intelligence and moral peace? Will you just be smart, or will you truly be wise? The training ground is wide open. The scenarios are waiting for you, and the choice of what kind of leader you'll become is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Now get out there and go tackle those simulations.